Through these 12 games, both Lara's image and personality have changed. I would say that she had 3 different personalities. One in the first 6 games, the second one started in Tomb Raider Legend and ended in Tomb Raider Underworld, being a trilogy. And the last personality started in Tomb Raider 2013 until the Shadow of Tomb Raider, and we don't know if there will be another new personality in the game. I hope not, because there are already too many in such a short time. In the first 3 games, the stories are not very developed, so the stories are short and we don't see much of Lara's personality. But even then, you could see how strong Lara is, as also smart, adventurous, ironic, and sometimes a little bitch. With that, she broke the rule that existed at the time, in which female characters were never the protagonist and always had to be saved by a man. Lara, instead of carrying out her countess formalities, prefers to explore dirty tombs, basically doing what she likes. She was brave enough to walk away from her parents, who did not approve of her lifestyle. This is that message that we must be who we are and not who our parents want us to be. In the next 3 games, from Tomb Raider 4 to 6, the story started to be more complete. We start to see a more sensitive side of Lara from time to time, but we also have times when she showed no empathy at all. I fell in love with the character in Tomb Raider 6, Angel of the Darkness. At that time, I was fascinated by the fact that she did what she wanted, facing everything and everyone without wanting to know the opinion of others. I was also amused at how ironic and rude she was. As much I like Lara's classic personality, I know she was a little out of balance and needed to become more emotional so that she would be more relatable. Still, she was not totally insensitive, because she saved Curtis, who she barely knew at the time, by giving Eckart the Obscura paintings. She saved John, and she also wanted to save the Russian captain in Tomb Raider Chronicles, and these are actually good examples of that. I confess that I feel a little sad to hear fans of the new Lara offend the old one with these extreme ideas of feminism. These people think that fans of the classic Lara Croft are a group of perverts and that the character is just a sex symbol. Is it true that some people like the character because of the boobs, but others like me can see her value beyond that? The creator himself ended up leaving core design after saying the perverts tarnished the image of Lara Croft in advertising, where she has attitudes that don't fit her personality in the games. Still, in terms of games, I think she never wore clothes that were too revealing. A good example of sexualized clothes are the soldiers from Final Fantasy IX, who walk with their butts out while men use a decent armor. It makes no sense. In the end, I can say that this is without a doubt my favorite Lara Croft. This personality emerged in the first reboot of the saga. From the game Tomb Raider Legend to Tomb Raider Underworld, I call it the balanced personality because it kept the old aspects but brought new ones. Lara started to show other emotions that before she never did. She became more human without losing her badass side that she always had. The moments when this Lara was cruel always had a good reason. She also became funnier with the conversations she was having through the game, especially with her partners Alistair and Zip. I think that before Tomb Raider Legend, I had never seen Lara sad. In this reboot, we saw Lara getting sad every time she remembers her missing mother and Amanda when she still thought she was dead. In Tomb Raider Anniversary, we can see how shaken she is after killing Larson, and she still tries to avoid fighting the other two mercenaries, but without success. In these two games, we can also see her hesitant and confused. The last game of the trilogy, Tomb Raider Underworld, basically only served to show that her mother was dead. Besides the story of Thor's Hammers, that was a filler as an excuse to make another game, so Lara spends most of the time talking to herself or with characters that we already know. However, in that game she started to become cold, obsessed and self-centered to the point of not giving importance to Alistair's death. In this reboot, the narrative begins with Lara following the footsteps of her father, who was also an archaeologist, to find her missing mother. Because she did not speak constantly about her father, I felt that she did tomb raiding also for fun, and not only because of her father. In Tomb Raider Underworld, she started to mention more times her father, and now I see that it was a bad omen for what was coming next. Although this Lara is not my favorite, I think she is the perfect Lara and I also love her. From the name I gave her, you know right away that I'm not a big fan of this new Lara Croft. Let's see why. In this trilogy, Lara changed her appearance and personality drastically. She stopped being the strong woman we were used to and became a much more vulnerable young woman. Most people believed that she would be like that only in the first game, that explained how she had become the Lara we knew, but that is not what happened. Lara from 2013 still had some charm despite having lost much of her personality. She goes through so many challenges to survive that players start to empathize with her and want her to succeed. This Lara, despite not saying anything memorable, funny or ironic, still manages sometimes to have an attitude like in the old times. Something very important about this game is the fact that she barely talks about her father. The story is about her. I think that Lara was okay, but then when the other two games came out, the character stopped being interesting. They made Lara boring, obsessed, and stupid to the point of not caring about the deaths and the damage she had done in a city in the last game, for example. In the last two games, she is always talking about her father. My father this, my father that, or Trinity this, Trinity that. She no longer explores runes because she likes them, but because of her obsession. And the worst thing is that it's not original. They did the same in Tomb Raider Underworld, where she is obsessed and it's constantly talking about her father and following his clues. In other words, they are recycling ideas. The story, characters and conversations of the games are the most boring things I've seen in video games. What keeps me playing these games is the gameplay, which is fun. I think with some things from the old games it would be even better. I also find it ridiculous that the character no longer can wear shorts because they are afraid to make Lara sexy again. I still think that wearing shorts doesn't necessarily make you sexy, but okay. And they are just shorts. She doesn't even show her butt cheeks, for example. The one that I like the most is the classic one. I also loved the Legend Lara, Legend Anniversary. On the roll, not that much, but it's not that bad. The last one, I find her really boring, you know. She doesn't have that charm anymore. So, what do you think of the three personalities? Do you agree or not with what I said? And what is your favorite Lara? Say in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for new videos. Bye bye!